Alright, now we're looking at sheet D11. Once again, we're going to be drawing the front view first because it has the most features on it. It says, just like all of them, that it's 3 1/4 tall or wide, 1 3/4 tall. So what are we going to see? We're going to see X and Y are the two things that we're going to see. So let's do that. We're going to measure up 1 3/4. We'll measure over actually the 3 1/4, the bracket's already there. It says that it's 1 inch over there to get that top part. So I'm going to measure over 1. It says that it's a 1/2 of an inch tall on the other side over here. So measure up the 1/2. And then at this point again, all I got to do is connect the two to get the measurements. I don't even need to know any other measurements. I'm just going to connect them. So there's my X part. Now I need to get this Y little rectangle here. If you look on the drawing, it says that the edge of this piece is 1 inch away, and it says that it's a 1/2 of an inch down. So I'm going to measure a 1/2 of an inch down, and I'm going to measure 1 inch over, and it's the exact same thing that we did before. All I'm going to do is draw the line over, draw the line up, and that's going to give me my Y. So our front view is almost done. Why do I say almost? Because when we look at this piece, is it solid all the way through the part? Or is there a gap in there? There is a gap inside of there. So we got to represent that gap by a hidden line, which means we do got to show this line right here that there is a gap going through the part. When we look down at this piece, we see 1, 2, 3, and then like a sideways C again, 4. So what we're going to do is, just like always, transfer all the horizontal or up and down lines up. Go ahead and use those brackets that are on the sheet. Certainly isn't what we see. We need to see 4 rectangles. We only see 3 that are a little bit messed up. It says that these are a 1/2 of an inch over. So I'm going to measure in a 1/2 each way. That gives me 1 and 3. 2, it says, goes out to this point. 2 is representative of this block coming up right here. So I'm just going to extend these lines out. Got to erase this line on the inside. So there's 2. And then there's my sideways C, but I don't see the C. I got to erase those lines out of there. And there's my C to get the number 4 there. So the top view is now done. Now when I look at it from the right side view, I'm going to see A, B, C, and D. So just like normal, let's transfer all the horizontal lines over. Run these up. Well, there's D. We've got D. We need to see A and C. And we know that those are over a 1/2 of an inch again, so we'll just measure over a 1/2. Measure over a 1/2. Bring them down, bring them down. Now, we're still not done yet because we got to see the full letter of A. So I'm going to take this one out. There's A. There's C. So we got A and C. Then we have to erase out this part because there's no rectangle up there. So there's my B. So the top one is now finished. So we look down here at the bottom. Once again, we are the same way. We're going to draw that front view first, and we see 2 L's on top of each other. We got an L on top of an L. It is 1 3/4 tall, just like all the other ones that we've done on these sheets so far. Start off by making my overall size of the box. Great. It says that I got to come over 3/4 of an inch and up 1/2 of an inch to be able to get my first L. So I'll come over my 3/4. I will come up my 1/2. Once again, I've got to connect the two. I don't need to know the length of any of those lines. So there's one L. And now I got an L that lays on top of this one. It says it's over 3/4 and down 1/2. So I'm going to come over 3/4. I'll measure down 1/2. Connect them around, and then obviously there's nothing in the middle here, so I have to erase this line out of there. So I got my two L's laying on top of each other. Now the question I would ask you is, when you look at this piece here from the front view, is it a solid L all the way through the part, or is there a gap back behind it? There is a gap back behind it, so we're going to have to represent that by a hidden line going through the part. When we look at this one, from the front view this direction, is it solid all the way through the part? Does there need to be a hidden line there? No, because it is solid all the way through the part. So if we go to the top view, let's transfer all the up and down features up. Now this time it doesn't give us the bracket for how thick the part is, which is fine. It's 1 3/4 wide. So let's go ahead and make that measurement. Now what do I see from the top view? I see A, B, and then C, D. So I see 4 things here. Well, this box right here is 3/4 by 3/4. We already got 1 3/4 mark on there, so I'll put the 3/4 here. This box also just happens to be 3/4 by 3/4, so I'm going to put a 3/4 line box up here. What do I mean by that? Is I'm going to say there's 3/4, there's 3/4. So there is A. Oh, I flip-flopped that around, didn't I? Needs to be the other way. That's my fault. 3/4 this way and 3/4 down this way. Here's A and here's B. Now notice that there's like a little ledge right in here, so I'm going to just go ahead and connect that over. So there's my C right there. And then D is already there. I just got to erase this line out of there. So there's the 4 things that I see: A, B, C, and D. When I look at it from the right side view, I'm going to see X and I'm going to see Y. Let's transfer over all the horizontal features again. Go ahead and run them up. That certainly isn't what we see. So let's start off by getting Y right here. We know that it was 3/4 of an inch wide. We also know that this one's 3/4 inch wide, so I'm going to go ahead and make that measurement. Whoops, kicked it. We're going to go ahead and bring this one down at 3/4 and this one down at 3/4. We have a gap inside of there because these two don't line up. When we measure over this 3/4, I could have went all the way down with it. So that gives me here my L, which is Y. And if I erase this one right here, that is X, which is the other part of it. Now what I got to look at this part is, when I look at this piece here, is it solid all the way through from the right side view? Yes, it's solid all the way through the part. When I look at this piece right here, is it solid all the way through the part? Is there a gap behind it? There is a gap behind it. So what does that mean? You got to show a hidden line. And that is sheet D11 complete.